Good morning. It is Monday, January 28th, and I'm starting a new reseller vlog for the week. I didn't do one last week. I was out of town, so you'll notice that if you follow my channel, I have a whole bunch of like vacation videos, and when that's done, I'll post this. So, yeah, it was an interesting weekend. I ended up watching my niece Abby because Haley had some school event out of town called Future City, and so her parents took her to that, and I volunteered to watch Abby, and she ended up spending the night, and it was a great time. I wish she'd do that more often, but they're very busy kids, and so and she's such a ball of energy. I think I need like a 2-day nap just recouping from her energy. But over the weekend, I had something interesting happen and on eBay. So I had someone opened a dispute, item not received, and that's been happening a lot lately of items not received, but I pulled the tracking details and they bought it January 7th and it showed delivered January 10th. So then when you have that happen, you just go into the case entering the tracking details, and eBay, they won't close it out right that moment unless you call, but it will close out in your favor because it shows that the item was received. And this person had never emailed me because usually sometimes if they haven't got the item, they'll email me and I'll try to help them as much as I can, but this person had never emailed me. And keep in mind, it was like the 26th on Saturday and the item showed deliver on 10th, so it took them like 3 weeks to realize they had not got their item, but it showed delivered. So in that case, I feel for the customer, but I'm covered. I don't have to give them a refund. A lot of things can happen. It shows delivered, so if he's saying he doesn't have it, it could have got stolen. Your postal person could, have not delivered it even though they scanned it delivered. You could have a friend that picked up the package. I've had this happen where like the husband picks up the stuff, puts it in his car and forgets, and then the wife is like, where's my package? So there's so many things that could happen, but the fact is, once it shows delivered, I'm not responsible anymore. It's the customer who has to figure it out. I'm only responsible when it shows not delivered, which has been happening a lot lately, so I was woohoo! I was really happy about that it showed delivered. And so I'm looking at my account and he left me negative. Like, he left me negative at the same time he filed the dispute. And this is an account, remember I have 4 accounts. And I have one account that I sell vintage items, and I think I have 1 negative on that because an item was damaged and the customer wasn't happy. And then I have my private label account that has a couple negative that, it's like, you can't make everyone happy. And then my clothing account, which has no negative, knock on wood, and then my collectible account, which has no negative, knock on wood. And my collectible account is my account I've had for a long time. It has the most activity. I baby this account. I don't want any negative, and this was my first negative on that account. And I'm like, what? And again, this buyer had never emailed me, giving me a chance to work out the problem. And his negative, all it said, didn't get item. Small caps, didn't get item. That's what his negative was. He had 0 feedback, and he had created that account the day that he bought it on January 7th. And so I didn't even email the guy. I called Disney. Sorry, I just got back from Disney. I called eBay, and first I told them about the case, and they closed it out immediately because it shows delivered, closed it in my favor. And then I said, he left me negative, and I thought, like, saying it's not received, and I thought that wasn't allowed if the tracking details show it's received and they settle the case in your favor. And he said, yes, absolutely, we will remove the negative feedback. Thank you so much. I don't really like to call eBay because it normally takes forever. Swear to goodness sake, I called within 5 minutes. I got through and got it all taken care of. Shortest eBay call I have ever had. It was the best, no problems, removed the negative, no problems. I'm back to 100%. And so an hour later, I'm packaging, and I remember this guy's name because I looked at after he left me negative, I looked at his rating. You can look to see other feedback they left. Never left any other feedback, never bought anything else that he could leave feedback. He created an account just to buy this one item, and he left me negative. It's a little suspicious, So an hour later, this item that he bought that he said he didn't get, I actually have multiples of, And so I still had a bunch of them in the store. So one sold an hour later, and I'm like, wasn't that the item I had a problem with? And so I look at the order details. It's the same guy. I blocked his first account. I always block anyone who leaves me negative. And so he was already blocked, so he went in to buy it again and couldn't. So he had to create a whole new account. It was created that day, everything, and he bought the same item. And he didn't even change names. It's the same name, same address, etc. So I canceled the order, but I did not get a strike for canceling the order. When you cancel an order, you have 3 options. You have item out of stock. Don't do that. That's a strike against you. If you do that 3 times, I think you get lowered in the ranking. And then buyer asked to cancel order is one of the options. And the third option is something is wrong with the address. And that's not a strike against you either. And buyer asked to cancel order is not a strike against you either. It's only if you cancel it because of item out of stock is a strike against you. Don't do it. So I chose the option, something's wrong with the address, which is, in my mind, is valid because he didn't get the first item, but it's the same address. So maybe there's something wrong with his address. Maybe he has a problem with theft. They don't, you just check that box. There's no like leave comments or whatever. And it's automatic. eBay don't care. So it's canceled automatically. And then I blocked him. And now I'm just waiting to see if he's going to, and actually I ended the items. And I'm like, I'll relist it in a couple days. I just don't want to deal with it this weekend. And I'm just waiting to see if he leaves negative on that new account or emails me or something. Nothing. But it's so suspicious that the first account, this was the only item he bought. Then he creates the second account, and I'm like, this item is a nice item, but it's not like limited. It's nothing special. There's tons of nice things on eBay. Like, why did he create it just to buy that item? I don't know. Someone who's, I don't want to sound paranoid, someone who has something against me. I don't know. On my collectible account, I kind of block people a lot. Because I get a lot of questions, and in the eBay world, too many questions means a problem buyer. So I have no patience, and so I may block a lot. And apparently it ticks people off. And I've had people email me, why am I blocked? I just ignore it. I'm not going to say it because you asked too many questions. That draws red flags. I like this account. I don't want any negative, so I don't take any chances. Am I losing sales because I block way too much? Probably. Yeah, absolutely. But I am at the point where, like, I have enough savings. I love all my sales, but I don't want to say this, like, and offend anyone. Like, I can go without a sell. I'd like a sell, but if I don't get a sell, I can go without a sell for a couple weeks. Do you know what I'm saying? So I kind of feel like, like if you're desperate for money, you want every single sell. I'm not at that point right now. So I can be a little more picky on my buyers, and that's why I block. And I realize not everyone has that ability, and they have to accept every single sell. I used to be like that. And that's why my other account has way too many negative, because I just accept every single sell. But I've been doing this long enough. I know questions are not good. Too many questions are not good. This is a tough subject because I'm like, a lot of people are like, oh, buyers are allowed to ask questions. Absolutely. I'm not saying I block every single person who asks a question, but when you have like all the details listed and they start asking like nitpicky questions, it's going to be a problem. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So I went off on a tangent. It just kind of like, I don't know. So then on my other account, I know what it was. So I had one other item not received case open this week, and I think I've mentioned it before. I'm having a really bad luck with item not received, and last month I gave 3 refunds, and 2 of those items were delivered like within a week after I issued them a refund. And do you think those customers turned around and said, hey, I got the item, can I, how much do I owe you? No. I even emailed one of them and said, hey, I see you got the item. Either can you pay me or can you mark return to sender on the package? no response. And then one of them was like, well, how about you give me a disc, like I want it, this was like a cheap item. And they're like, well, I think because of my trouble I should have like only have to give you half. And at that point she'd already got a full refund, and I didn't even respond. I'm like, you know what, keep it, I'm not arguing with you, whatever. It's like, out of your inconvenience, because of her inconvenience, because it was being late. And it wasn't like a present, it wasn't like she needed it by a certain date. It was a pure frivolous item. And I think what irritated me the most was it was like an extremely low dollar item, and so she was like quibbling over $2, which she had already got the full refund. And so I just walked away. I'm like, forget it, I'm not even emailing her. You are that worried about $2, you keep your whole 10 or whatever it was. I'm done. You're blocked. I'm done. So, lesson of the story is I'm done giving refunds until the last possible moment if your item is not received. Because I've had way too many packages delivered after I received the refund. So this week while I'm at Disney, I had someone email me saying, I didn't get this item, I know it's not your fault, it's the post office fault, but I still really want a refund, blah blah blah. So eBay gives you like 5 days to respond, and I was on vacation, so I did not respond. But I did look up the tracking details, and so this was an item that was supposed to be delivered on the 14th, and on the 14th it was scanned, item not deliverable, address, something wrong with address. I don't remember the exact wording. And I'm like, interesting. So then I pulled up her information, and her name was like Vinyl Store something, and then like 26 Courtyard, I don't know. And I was like, her name's Vinyl Store? Okay. People use your real name when you're having items shipped, okay? So I did a case on, I've talked about it before. You go to USPS.com, enter the tracking details, it shows the activity, enter your cell phone, and they will send you any updates. That's why I know when packages have been delivered, because I get a text saying this item was delivered. So I entered the tracking updates. And then you go to contact customer service, and then there's a link that says send an email. So then you go send an email, and it's a form that you enter your tracking information, you enter the sender's information, customer's information, and then the contact information. And I used to enter my information for them to contact me, and I mentioned how they always call me right away. Because on eBay you don't always have a person's phone number. In this case, she had her email and her phone number, so I put the contact information as her, let USPS bug her so she knows I'm actually trying to find her package. So now remember, it's been a week and it has had no activity, and the last scan said address was wrong. That's technically not my fault. Your customer entered the address wrong. I print everything automatically from eBay. I don't edit anything. It's not like I'm handwriting packages, so it's not like I can make an error entering the wrong address. It's already in the computer. The customer entered the address, that's where it's being shipped to. And a lot of customers don't understand that. I think they're so used to like people handwriting stuff. So if it's like address is wrong, they blame me. It's like, no, it's your address. I didn't touch it. And so I entered all the information online, and then you hit submit, and then they give you a case number. And then and for whatever reason, this like just helps move the package along. I don't know, like there's higher ups that are looking at these reports that get the lowers to like work, you know what I'm saying? And so whenever I do a case, it usually gets the package moving along. So sure enough, the very next day I get a text. The item shows delivered. And the customer actually went in and canceled that case without me having to do anything. Thank goodness. Because if I would have been like the night before, and it had been like 2 weeks in the she hadn't got her package, if I would have been like, oh my god, let me just assure a refund, she would have got the package the very next day, and she ain't giving me any money. So it's like, here is the lesson. If you have an item not received, don't issue a refund until the last possible moment. And then a lot of you are like, well, you want to make your customer happy. If you prolong it, they're going to leave you negative. Let me tell you, you can't control who leaves you negative. All those people that I issued a full refund, one of them still left me negative. She got her product, she got her money back, and she still left me negative. You know what I'm saying? I did everything I could, and she still left me negative. So chances are you're gonna get negative no matter what. So why bend over backwards? You're probably gonna get negative. And so on that case, could I have called and had them negative removed? Probably. It depends how they word it. It depends how they word your negative. Like the negative I got removed that said item not received, the guy agreed with me because the item showed received. So I think the negative I got was the lady was like, poor customer service. I don't remember. And I did everything I could. I don't think it was poor customer service. But if you call eBay, the customer rep is going to be like, well, that's their opinion, so I can't remove it, because they are allowed to share their opinion. So that's the frustrating part. Like when you call eBay to get feedback removed, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And so sometimes I just don't care. I just don't care. Guess what? Negative sucks, absolutely. But that account that has negative, I still have at least 10 sales a day. I still have hundreds of other people leaving positive. So, and I can respond to negative, and I'm very nice with how I respond. And sometimes I actually like leaving the negative, because the person leaving the negative, they just sound like an idiot. I'm sure you've read negative on other sellers' account, and you're like, oh my god, that negative is like, the customer is just an idiot. So sometimes I just leave the negative so everyone else can be like, wow, what a crab ass. So if I felt like the negative was affecting my sales, I probably would be calling eBay. But I don't. Under that account that has a lot of negative, I still get plenty of sales. But going back to this main account, why I didn't want the negative is because it's kind of like my baby account. It's the one I enjoy the most. The collectible items I enjoy the most. Enjoy selling those, and I just don't want negative on that one. So yeah, I called and got it removed. And wow, I've been telling you the story for 16 minutes. Crazy. So I gotta get going. I listed a bunch this morning. I have 2 bins to go to the post office. We are going to run a couple errands. It is the Chinese New Year this week, or it's next week. I don't know. Chinese New Year is like a week, but then all their like factories and stuff actually take the whole month off. Wouldn't that be nice to have a whole month off to celebrate the New Year? And so we like to go to the Chinese store. We have like I've been to it before. I've showed it on a vlog before. It's called like Seafood Warehouse or whatever. So it's just like tons of seafood, but it's also Chinese goods imported. And I just want to see if they have anything special for the Chinese New Year. I don't know. I love ethnic stuff like that. So we do like to go and check out to see what kind of interesting stuff they have. And then we're going to go to Hobby Lobby and see if they have a fake tree. We just took our Christmas tree down yesterday. This space looks extremely bare to me. We didn't want to take it down, and so I'm going to just see if there's some kind of like fake palm tree I can buy and put in the middle. And the cats miss it. They liked hiding underneath it. So I don't know, some kind of fake tree we can put in the corner and make it look less bare. So I feel like Hobby Lobby will be the best place to find that at. So anyway, I'll add more clips hopefully this week if it's interesting. I don't know. Sometimes it's interesting on reselling life, and then sometimes nothing happens. So I just wanted to share that feedback story. I don't know. I'm just happy they removed it, because I've called before and they've not removed negative. So I was very happy that they removed this. No problem. But now I'm like constantly checking the account to see what this guy's going to do next, because I'm sure he ain't letting it go. So anyway, I'll see you later. Good morning. It's Tuesday. I'm at the post office dropping off my bin for the day. I only got 1 bin over there. It is so cold. What is it? It's 19 degrees. I know a couple people I watch like have it a lot worse than I do. I watch Ann in Iowa. I think she's like negatives, and then my family in Illinois is like -4. So I'm pretty sure 19 degrees is pretty good compared to other places in the US. But oh my god, it is so cold. Anyway, I'm dropping off my packages, and then I'm driving to my nail appointment. I got pink nails. Time to get a change, and then go home and get back to work. We just dropped our packages off at the post office. So it's -4, is it -2 right now? And this is, I don't know, I didn't realize they closed the postal service today. So I had seen a couple of my other Instagram ladies where they were super cold and theirs was closed. I didn't realize Missouri was cold too. So luckily my sister pays attention to the news, and she called and said, what are you gonna do about your packages? So I called the office. The office was open, so I was able to drop my packages off. The route carriers are just not delivering today, which is fine. I just want them to take my packages and scan. Whenever they go out, because I switched everything to 1-day shipping, so they have to go out today, or at least be scanned that the post office accepted them. Because I guess eBay sent out an email that if you're in one of the states affected by the -degree weather, that they will save your metrics or whatever. So yeah, that's a first for us. It's what?
There's a fire.
There's a fire engine. Yeah, there was a fender bender at the stoplight back there. So there's all the schools are closed. There's still some traffic. We're still going out and about. So yeah, we dropped our packages off, and now we're gonna go to Dave & Buster's for lunch. And yeah, I just need a break from working. Robert needs a break from working and working on taxes, so we need a break. And these are my nails from yesterday. I forgot to show them. Just pink again, just another pink. It's Valentine's Day, so I gotta get pink. So anyway. Alright, just a side story. We were just discussing the freezing weather and like all the schools closed and stuff. So my husband, when he was a kid, delivered papers.
Actually, I didn't deliver them. I rolled them.
You rolled them.
I rolled them, put them in bags, and rode in the van with my brother who owned the paper route.
It was his older brother owned a paper route. Remember papers?
When we're talking about paper route, we're not talking about like Leave It to Beaver or 12 newspapers kids deliver. We're talking about we were supplying like grocery stores, gas stations, and also through newspapers to people's houses. And I think there was at least 1,000 customers. I may be wrong. It might have been.
It was a huge route. It was a big
route.
deal. This was his brother. It's your brother's full-time job at the time.
Correct. This gives you an idea. So basically, you get your newspapers from the delivery truck at 10, and we'd work till 6 to 7 in the morning. So we'd work from 10 at night till 6 or 7 in the morning. That's how many newspapers we delivered.
So he was just talking about how papers still were delivered no matter the temperature, and you were saying that you delivered in like...
Yeah, it didn't matter. There was a Christmas, I remember. I was a little boy, and I remember working the morning rolling newspapers, and we had a storage garage, and I rolled the newspapers there. And then you'd get two sections. You'd have a comic section and you'd have a real estate section. You put those two together, you'd roll them, and then they'd be ready for the night when we'd load them into the van. And then you had the main sheet, which they called the main sheet, which was the main newspaper. So my brother was throwing a comic and a section, a real estate section, and also a main sheet. So he'd throw 2 newspapers to every house.
Okay.
So we did this all night when it was -15.
-15.
Now you gotta remember, to throw newspapers, you have to have your windows down.
Yes.
So all the windows on both sides were basically...
You were throwing them too?
He was. I didn't throw the newspapers.
So he just threw them out of both sides?
Correct, because I was too busy rolling the newspapers.
Got it.
Because I had already rolled the one section, but you still had to roll the main sheet.
Right.
So I'm loading boxes and stuff up for him to throw them, and it was so cold there was no way that the van could keep you warm. We were freezing our butts off.
Right.
But we still had to work. We still had to work. I was young. My brother was young because he's 10 years older than me. So I just think about the way things have changed, and it's amazing. It amazes me because we froze our butts off, and this was on Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve.
We worked on Christmas Eve because the newspaper never stops. You gotta remember that it never stops. So I'll never forget that, and it was so cold. And we had a lot of times that were cold like that.
Yeah. Well, this is I think it's an anomaly because we've been doing internet business for a long time now, and this is the first time they've ever had a non-delivery day because of -degree.
Yeah.
And it just came out of nowhere because yesterday it was 30 degrees, the day before it's 30 degrees, tomorrow it's 30 degrees, so just one day is negative below. And why is that? Is it you were talking? He was watching the weather last night.
Yeah,
It's what were you calling that vortex?
Oh, the polar vortex. They're talking about how it's changed and attributing it to.
Well, we won't bore you with weather because there's tons of people are having the same problem.
And
so.
it's a lot worse than here because it's negative.
And,
it's like
yeah, but it's
20 degrees.
There's a couple other people like Anne in Iowa is like -14, and she's got like 80 billion inches of snow.
Yeah.
We don't have any snow. And then Narissa is, I think hers is -12, and they have 1 billion inches of snow. So we have negative below, we just have no snow. Which, it's my fault. It's my fault we don't have snow. I spent $160 on snowshoes. So snow disappeared. It did it.
I was so looking forward to it.
We were so looking forward
I even had spots picked out.
using these snowshoes.
I thought we're gonna walk around our lake, and then if that gets boring, we're gonna drive down to that one trail where supposedly the ghost train people are.
Oh yeah, the trail along the
river.
river.
There's zombies down there. I don't know. There's something.
I don't think it's zombies, but we'll go with ghosts.
Yeah, something weird down there. I have no idea. And that would be a beautiful trail to snowshoe on. But of course, it's St. Louis,
so no
you never
snow.
get what you want.
So we'll either have to drive to Iowa or Illinois and go snowshoeing.
No, we actually have a ski resort here.
Yeah, but it's all iced.
But you got to remember, if it melts and it refreezes and it's ice pellets.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think you can snowshoe there. So
No.
I don't think there's any place to because it's all hills.
Yeah. Well, and then I'm going to end my vlog for so far because it's a pretty long vlog this week. So maybe I'll have 2 vlogs this week. So that's it on my reseller vlog for the week. It's only Wednesday, but I had a lot to share this week. I'll just make another one, and thanks for watching. I'll see you later.